I'm not lost. There we go. We got ourselves a sword and our hidden blade back. So yeah. Oh, and something that they don't directly address, at least I don't think they directly addressed it in this game, but I think they do in 2, I believe. And that's the fact that Altair here used the hidden blade, which, of course, but if you noticed his ring finger on his left hand is actually missing. And that's because the way the blade was designed during this time, and anyone else who used it during this time, had to have, from their, would it be second knuckle, first knuckle? I don't know, the main joint on your finger, not where it meets your palm, but like the joint after that. They had to have that cut off, or else the blade would cut it off itself. So, and I also think it was just kind of like a way to initiate someone into using it. So, a bit of an old school look at the Assassins organization that way, I guess. Kind of cool. Don't really see it too much anymore. Or else, actually, I don't think I've seen it with any of the other games where they've had their digit cut off. But that's getting into spoiler territory, so I don't want to talk about any of that yet.
Altair, it seems my
We'll learn about more about that in the
students
second
do not
game.
fully understand what it is to wield a blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
Not really. I don't want to. You'll have to do this every once in a while when you get new items, so just get used to it. So here we go. Hold right trigger just to defend. Just do it again and again. So here we go. X. Oh, I missed. Let me try this again. XX. There we go.
Perfect.
So that's actually a really odd attack. I never will ever use this unless it's by accident. Basically what you do is, and as soon as it hits, you punch, you press X again. So it's kind of a bit finicky in my opinion, but it's, you know, it's okay. But I'll never use it. And that is it. No more tutorials. Yes.
You must be busy. I understand.
I am busy. Okay, so let's head over to Damascus and take care of our first assassination target. So the way these work is, I'll explain it right now before we get there. The way these assassination missions work is you go to the Assassin's Bureau, report to him, get information about the target, go ahead, or a little bit of information about the target, go ahead and do these missions that we did in the very beginning here. Go do a couple of them, and then once you get to the point where you can start, or when you get to the point where you can report back to the guy at the Assassin's Bureau, you shut up. I'm trying to remember my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Once you do the number of missions you're supposed to do, you go back to the guy at the Assassin's Bureau, and then you can go do the assassination mission. So it is pretty straightforward, but it can be long and grueling at times. But, you know, it is the way it is. And one more thing is right now, actually no, not yet. We're still considered inside Masyaf, or wherever. I think we're at Masyaf. Once we get out into the wilds this way, like the in-between all the cities that we have to go to. Damascus, Jerusalem, and then there's a couple, I think there's one or two more cities after that. I don't remember the names. But I'll show you the map once we get out here. Okay.
Use counterattacks when faced with multiple enemies to gain the advantage in combat.
I love doing that. So much. Do it all the time. I've actually considered cutting out the loading times, but they're not too long, so I guess it's okay. If there is a game that has really fucking long loading times, I will definitely cut it out. So, if we go ahead and look at the map here. So as you can see, it's pretty dark. Now, I'm not sure if I want to actually look at these viewpoints. You know what? fuck it. We'll go ahead and look at the viewpoints, just because it's really hard to see everything around here if you don't actually go look at these. I'm not going to look at all of them. I'm going to look at the ones that will actually allow me to, I guess, actually see where I'm going. Okay, so we're going to want to get off here. Yep. Now, keep in mind, though, we're still, I guess, technically in Assassin's territory, so none of these guys will actually attack us or anything, but once we start heading towards Damascus and these other places that aren't controlled by the Assassins, every guard is going to want to kill you. So if you start climbing and doing things like this, it'll be like, Assassin, and they'll try and kill you. So keep that in mind while you're dicking around with all this stuff. Oh, and I didn't mention, the synchronization point, or the viewpoint areas, what they do, they just reveal locations on the map. So if we go back to the map now, as you can see, it revealed a little bit of the road and a little bit of the surroundings, and it also revealed a bunch of these viewpoints. So as we head up to Damascus, I will actually, go ahead and just look at a couple of these. Just because it does help with, the later game in traveling around. Hey, horsey! Thanks, bud. Yeah, so that's just exactly what I said. Whoa. Hang on. And that's one thing that really bothers me, is every single guard in the game is so cautious of everything you do. It's just kind of frustrating. I'm really surprised I didn't get caught by the guards there. I don't know why I didn't, but almost every time they flash hard like that and you're sprinting past them, or I guess galloping past them, they always go, "Hey! What are you doing?" Okay. So actually, you know what? Let me, will they? I don't know what they're gonna do. Hang on. Let's see here. Hi. Weird. That's really strange. Normally they always go after me. Huh. No, climb. There we go. I don't mind, honestly, but it's kind of weird. And a little bit more. Now, I think I briefly mentioned it in the first session, but the parkour in this game really, really frustrates me. It's way too clunky. They've really streamlined the parkour in the later games, making it really easy to quickly climb up, the side of a building, or through trees, or over hills or whatever, or I guess cliff faces, or anything like that. But in the first few games, it's really, really clunky, and if you accidentally press A one too many times, you'll go bounding off in a different direction, which, ugh, can be very, very, very irritating. Okay, Damascus, here I come. More eagle spots. Nothing over this way. Let go. Oh, and this game has a shit ton of flags to collect. Not touching those. If I get one every once in a while, hey, that's fine with me, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go find them. Because those fuckers are going to take forever to find. I remember in Assassin's Creed 2, they had feathers, I think it was. Oh my god, did that take forever to find. All those feathers were a pain in the ass. Am I going the right way? See. I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. I think I am. Yeah, I am. I remember. Okay, I remember going this way when I played. I had the failed session. Let go. Okay, so we got another one here. Let me get off the horse. Climb up this side because no one's over here. And up we go. Awesome. See, so what I mean right now is that if I was to press A, sometimes I normally just hold A climbing up the mountain, or climbing up any building or whatever. Sometimes he'll just jump off because it's actually the jump button. But I'm so used to holding down A while sprinting just because that's also the sprint button. So it's kind of frustrating that that happens and that it's set up that way. But like I said, it doesn't happen in any or most of the other games. So that is, I guess it was an issue for some players like me, who just have a really bad habit of holding down the A button. Okay, horsey. Let go. Oh, and yeah, that bar right underneath my synchronization bar right now, that pops up every once in a while. It said 3 out of 15, I believe. That is a bar identifying how many more missions or side things, like I'm doing these synchronization points, how many more of those things I need to do before I actually get an extra bar on my synchronization or my health bar. So that is one of the reasons why you should actually do a lot of these missions, but at the same time you shouldn't feel forced into doing them, because you're not really forced. I mean, you really don't have to do all of them. Do a majority of them to get a fair bit of health, and you should be good. Okay, up we go. There we go. Nice. Nice. Yeah, but I hope those of you who do like Assassin's Creed, I hope you, and that do watch my videos, I guess. Hope you don't mind me playing this. I've been really wanting, and I think I briefly mentioned it in the first session, that, this was one of the games that really drove me to start making videos. And I just, for whatever reason, I never sat down to do anything with it. I played, I've never done Assassin's Creed. I finally, after 4 years of making videos, I finally sat down to do Fallout, which, it was fun and I loved it. Kind of sucked that it had too many problems, but it is what it is. And, yeah, now the last game I have to do is Gears. And then I've officially done all the games I wanted to do when I started making videos. Which is kind of a surreal thing. Because, you don't really think... You set your goals out for yourself.
To reach out for ledges should you fall while climbing.
Oh, that just means hold B, I think. I don't know, whatever. But, it is really, really weird to think, you had these goals for you, and then when you're done with those goals, you kind of move on, really. But I just never actually tackled those goals, and after I finish this game, I'll be, I guess, 2/3 of the way done with my original goal I wanted to have. But anyhoozle, here we are. We are at the doors of Damascus. Pretty big city, pretty big. And that was the coolest thing I liked about this game.